Hi guys and welcome to the trading show. This week we are gonna talk about
markets. Bitcoin hits fresh record high. Our portfolio. Commodities surge. Tip of the week. The new future on Ether. And the weekly rollovers.
and if you are interested in systematic trading, then subscribe to our channel. I am Francesco Placci, Head of R&D at Unger Academy. Let's start from the market overview to see together what happened during the week. Positive performances again for equity indices this week, even if we are talking about limited increases. However, the indices managed to reach new all-time highs in the last 5 days. Negative returns instead for the bonds. We see in this chart the T-bond future, which is in downtrend. All energies and metal futures are positive. In particular, I want to show you the platinum's uptrend that has given us a good trade this week. Then we have the mid sector, which is positive. In particular, the Linux future is in strong uptrend. Then soft commodities with mixed returns, as well as the cereal sector. All positive the currencies, and in particular we are going to see cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin this week managed to break through all-time highs. We are now at a value of $47,000. Actually, there is really a lot of turmoil in this sector. The quotation of the Ether future has been just this week, and I imagine that in a short time it will be able to reach the necessary liquidity to use trading systems. Let's now turn to the historical volatility of equity indices, which is low over the long term, but is at an average level over a shorter time horizon. As regards the implied volatility, we are almost in contango, with the only exception of the VIX 1 year, which is not the one with the highest volatility. The VIX is at very low levels, a sign that there are no particular market troubles to report. The forward structure is in contango, which is the classic structure for bull markets. After seeing some key statistics on financial markets, and given the fact that automated traders also use this data to build their trading strategies, as usual, we will now take a look at our portfolio of trading strategies to see how systems have reacted to current market conditions.
Hi guys, from Alessandro Danos, and welcome to this new appointment with the analysis of our portfolio. This week I want to show you two strategies on commodities futures. The first one on crude oil futures, which had a very big recovery after the pandemic. Some of you maybe remember the collapse of the last year, and we can see that this strategy, that is a trend following strategy that enters when a crossover the high of the day before for the long side and the low of the day before for the short side, enters in the market, so trend following, and we can see that took this beautiful trade, managing to recover a little bit from this drawdown that happened during the summertime. But overall, we can see that the strategy behaved very well with a 2020 with a very high profit. And we can see that here the last trade was, as said, of $3,600. Of course, these kind of strategies, so trend following strategies, have a low percent profitable. We can see it here, 37% in the last 62 trades. But also they have a very big average trade, because of course this is a multi-day strategy, and so the trade has more time to make more profit. Having a look also at a graphic image of the trades, we can see also here that the strategy have a very high number of stop losses here, around the level of minus $1,000. Then we have some trades in profit, but they didn't reach the take profit. And also this one is the last one. And then we have also a little some targets of $5,000. That of course they are not so many, but they are enough to recover or to manage to profit after all that stop losses. We can see also here a positive outlier reached during the pandemic, when the crude oil closed on Friday at around $50 and then reopened on Sunday at a 30% lower. So the strategy was short, and so it took a very high profit. Of course, this is not a normal situation, and of course, unfortunately, it may happen also on the contrary. So maybe this time the strategy was on the right side. But I also had a trade some years ago on the natural gas. I was short on Friday close, and then the natural gas reopened with a gap up of 10-12%, and so I took a very big stop loss. So it's not the normal, and this could happen on both sides. Okay, now let's move to the next strategy, which is a strategy again trend following, but this time on the platinum futures market. It has also exit conditions as well as stop loss and take profit. Take profit that we can see the strategy took in the last week. Take profit of $4,000, and we can see that thanks to this trade, the strategy managed to exit from a sort of sideways period in the last, let's say, 20 trades, and managed to reach new equity peaks. Also, looking at the annual period analysis, we can see that 2020 was a pretty good year for this market, and also 2021 started very well.
Hi everyone, and welcome from Andrea Unger. Today I will talk you about a new feature that has been released since very few days. In fact, here we are talking about the Ether future that has been listed on the CME exchange. So here we can see from this news release that starting from February 8th, 2021, this future has been released on the CME exchange. So now we will have a look to the main characteristics of the Ether futures. But first of all, I want to spend very few words about Ethereum in general, on which is based this kind of product. So first of all, Ethereum is a bit different from Bitcoin because it allows you to create smart contracts that can be described as highly programmable digital money. And in order to run on the peer-to-peer network, so on this sort of blockchain, the Ethereum contract pay the use of its computational power through a unit of account that is called Ether, which therefore acts both as cryptocurrency and at the same time as fuel. So in other words, contrary to many other cryptocurrency, Ethereum is not just a network for the exchange of monetary value, but a network for running Ethereum-based contracts. And these contracts then can be used safely to perform a large and wide number of possible operations, such as electoral systems, registration of domain names, financial markets, crowdfunding platforms, and intellectual properties, and etc. So the usage is quite wide and a bit different from the Bitcoin. But now let's go on the main features and the main characteristics of the Ether futures. The first thing we can notice here is that the contract unit is equal to 50 index points, so it means $50. And this is a quite high number if compared to the Bitcoin futures. In fact, the Bitcoin futures multiplier is equal to $5, but because of the quotes on the Bitcoin are much more higher at the moment than those on Ether, anyway, the value of the Bitcoin future at the moment is anyway much more higher than the value of those Ether futures contracts. And the session is the classical one we can find on the CME, and in fact it goes from Sunday to Friday from 5 p.m. to 4 p.m. Chicago time. So we have a pause every day, so from Monday to Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Chicago time. And the tick size, so the minimum price fluctuation, is 1/4, so 0.25 index point, and this determines a tick value of equal to $12.50 per contract. And here let's have a quick look to the volume, and we can see that during the first days of negotiation the volumes were absolutely low, and this is the reason why I would suggest you not to trade this product at the moment. Just because, in my opinion, is extremely liquid right now, and so I would advise you to wait for some month, so at least since when the volumes will become quite higher, so it will be pretty it will be more easy for you, it will be easier for you to find some counterparts when you try to close or open a certain position, for example. If we would give a look to the volumes on the Bitcoin future, for example, we can clearly see that at the moment on the most liquid contracts we can find on the yesterday's session nearby 10,000 contracts traded, so it's a quite acceptable number, even if it's not the most liquid products at all on the CME between the CME products, but it may be acceptable, while those numbers are extremely low if compared to the Bitcoin's one. So I would advise sincerely to you not to trade this kind of product at the moment. So you can just monitor it and wait for since when it will become more liquid. But now let's go on the multi-charts and let's have a look to some characteristics. So first of all, here I have plotted the ETH USD from Bitfinex, and this just because on the future, as we can see on the upper chart part of the window, there isn't enough data to do just anything. So we cannot just analyze anything on the future right now, because it has been released on February 8th, so there isn't enough data to calculate anything. So here I have created this indicator, and the histograms is the true range of the current session multiplied by 50. So it means so this value should represent the same volatility I would have faced on the future, on the corresponding future. So I have just multiplied by 50 the true range of the session to get the monetary amount I would have faced on the corresponding future on the same day. And then finally I have calculated a moving average at 5 days just to represent the moving the value of the trading week on the prior data series, so on the red histograms. And as we can see here on the last values, I would have faced a pretty high volatility, so approximately a cash volatility of about $6,000 or $7,000 per day. That, if compared with other futures, is pretty high. It's pretty high, and it may be comparable with the volatility of the DAX future, for example. That is one of the most volatile future from a monetary point of view. And in the past, this kind of underlying was not so volatile, but of course its value is not consistent, and so we have now to analyze the most recent groups of value around here. So in conclusion, I would say that for now it seems to have a quite high monetary volatility, so I would recommend this product only to very capitalized and experienced traders, just because you may face high profits and high losses on this kind of product because of the volatility combined with this contract unit. And at the same time, I would suggest not to trade the future at the moment because it seems extremely illiquid, and I would suggest just to wait for more people that trade this kind of product.
Rollover calendar. Next week there is the VIX future expiring on February 19th, and I remind you that on Monday of the following week the crude oil will expire. So at the end of the next week you can already roll over the crude oil future. Well guys, so if you want to learn how to build trading systems like Andrea Unger, the only 4-time trading world champion with real money, go ahead and click on the link below. You will be able to pick a date and a time for a 45-minute call totally free with one of our tutors. We will talk about your current situation, what you are doing in trading and what you would like to do instead. And we will try to understand together if we can help you achieve your trading goals. Finally, if you like this video, press like and then subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. See you next week with another episode of The Trading Show.